Resuming debate. Reprise de débat. The member for Kitchener-South Hespeler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My speech today is not merely about Bill C-3, an act to amend the Citizenship Act. It is, like my last speech, about Canadian values, and more particularly the Canadian value that I fear this bill undermines, the value of Canadian citizenship. I have previously described to this House that my mother came to Canada as a refugee from Yugoslavia. The freedom and opportunity that this country gave her, and by inheritance to me, are of immeasurable value. This value cannot be expressed in dollars and cents. It cannot be expressed in mere words. It can only be expressed in lifetimes. We express our gratitude for the freedom and opportunity conferred by Canadian citizenship through a lifetime of service to Canada. Every time a Canadian builds a house, or plants a tree, or coaches hockey, soccer, or cricket, they are serving this nation. Anytime a Canadian teacher leads a class or a Canadian nurse changes a dressing in the hospital, they are serving the nation. When you do your job, pay your taxes, follow our laws, learn our languages, shovel your neighbor's sidewalk, and vote in our elections, you are serving the nation. When police officers catch a bad guy, they serve our nation. When a social worker or minister consoles the victims, they serve the nation. And most importantly, those who join the armed forces serve the nation, not just in their life, but sometimes in their death. And their service is sacred. Mr. Speaker, all of that service, born out of gratitude, builds Canada and builds the value of Canadian citizenship. Canada is strong and free in so much as Canadians work to make it strong and free. Canadian citizenship is not a trinket, a bauble, or a collector's item to be put on a shelf, kept in its package, or sold on eBay at a profit. It is a sacred bond between those who built Canada before us and those who will inherit it after us. If we do well, if we all work our whole lives to make Canada better, perhaps we can pass it on as strong and as free as it was passed on to us. Perhaps our children will enjoy all of the peace and prosperity that we in this House did. So, Mr. Speaker, when generations of Canadians build Canada, they build the value of Canadian citizenship. When newcomers come to Canada and follow our laws, pay our taxes, learn our languages, and serve the community, they also build the value of Canadian citizenship. And that is why I cannot, for the life of me, understand why, in this bill, the Liberals seek to give away Canadian citizenship to the grandchildren of people who left to go build some other place. When I went door knocking in Kitchener, Ontario, I met so many wonderful people from all over the world who were so grateful for refugee status or permanent residency. They are working so hard to learn our language, to get educations, to make ends meet in a difficult economy, and to pass their citizenship examinations. Many of them have fulfilled all the necessary requirements to become citizens, but are still waiting months, even years, to have their applications processed by a broken and backwards immigration bureaucracy. Why? Why would the Liberals privilege the grandchildren of someone who left to go build another country over the real, flesh and blood, permanent residents who are in this country now, working their hands to the bone to build this country? Do they not see how by letting these individuals abroad jump the queue, they effectively create a hereditary, caste-based, two-tier citizenship regime? Immediately prior to the election campaign, the Prime Minister declared himself, bizarrely, a globalist elitist. I note that he seems to collect citizenships. He has 3. Most Canadians have 1. They have put all their eggs in the Canada basket. I could have obtained Serbian citizenship in my 20s. Even now, I believe I can obtain Dutch citizenship by marriage. But it has never occurred to me that any other nation deserves my service and loyalty, and therefore I have never applied. All of my skin is in this game. Perhaps the Prime Minister looks at citizenship differently than most Canadians. Perhaps after his years at Brookfield, he seeks to diversify his citizenship portfolio in case his investment in Canada doesn't quite pay off for him. Perhaps after having received a really cool appointment from the UK government, he is holding out for another one if being Prime Minister of Canada does not quite satiate his elitist ambitions. Mr. Speaker, if the Liberals succeed in passing Bill C-3 in its present form, they give away citizenship to the grandchildren of those who left, to the children of those who have barely visited, to individuals who do not work here, pay our taxes, follow our laws, serve in our communities, and learn our languages. They give away value. They invest less, and they spend more. They create a deficit of value. And just like their gigantic, undisclosed fiscal deficit, they inflate away the value of our citizenship after having inflated away the value of our dollar. Bill C-3 creates a terrible deficit in the public accounts of our citizenship. Canadian citizenship is supposed to confer the opportunity to have a decent job at a good wage so as to buy a nice home in a safe neighborhood. It is also supposed to confer universal access to proper health care. How can this government write a blank check for all these things to individuals abroad who have never lived here by giving away citizenship, when the citizens already here cannot cash their check, cannot access these promises? This government's citizenship account is overdrawn. Their checks are bouncing. The Parliamentary Budget Office estimated that Bill C-3 will immediately add 115,000 new citizens to Canada who live outside the country. I strongly doubt that our immigration bureaucracy can even process all of these. Have the Liberals done any analysis at all to show how adding 115,000 citizens by the stroke of a pen might exacerbate our jobs crisis, our housing crisis, and our healthcare crisis? The Liberals are giving away tickets for a free boat ride while that boat is taking on water from a hole they have cut in the bottom. Fundamentally, they fail to understand how value is created either in the economic sense nor in the citizenship sense. Et maintenant, j'aimerais faire mes derniers commentaires dans ma troisième.
And now, my last comments in my third language, in French, to highlight my statement. Canada, contrary to what Justin Trudeau did and has said, is not a post-national state, a post-nation state. Canada will always be a marriage between two people, the French and the English, defined by its relations and its treaties with the First Peoples of this country. Of course, these relations have not always been perfect. Our project is unique, and it continues. We joined this project midway. We are the people who come from the world over. We are like branches that are added to a tree. We cannot change our branches like Mr. Trudeau changes his costumes. We work with the tree, we add value to the tree, and the tree feeds us in return. To say that we are a post-nation country would be like saying that a branch can grow without a tree, or that a branch can be post-tree. I believe that the tree exists, that the tree is dynamic, vibrant, and that it's our home, and that is the reason for which we are asking that we do not have a two-level immigration system. People who want to become Canadian need to learn our languages and pay taxes, and that's what they want to do. So why would a bill be tabled without these guarantees? Why does it refuse to defend the value of our citizenship?
I fear this bill makes cheap what should be sacred. I beg the members in this House to pass amendments to make this a better bill. We can do this. Thank you for your time.